For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
We are into a day of prayer and fasting. What will come out of this? And haven't we been there before? Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, NewsSpin, on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. My name is Timothy Poleon. The broadcast goes up until 2 o'clock this afternoon. I'll be hearing from you a little bit later with your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. 716-2026. Amanda will be going through the comments in the chat room and will be providing us with some updates. We hope your Friday is an enjoyable one, and we're all set to have discussion on the range of issues in this country. We hope that the exchanges will not be in vain and something positive will come out of them. So, the head of the Catholic Church in St. Lucia, Archbishop Mazier, called for a national day of prayer and fasting. And of course, we are very much into this observance today. But haven't we been there before? And we've been there on countless occasions. We even had a series of prayer warfare rallies in St. Lucia about 2 years ago, led by Pastor Benedict Jean-Baptiste. We prayed and we prayed and we prayed. There's a lot of fasting. And we are supposed to be a Christian society where there's so many people who are praying. We have so many churches around the island. Our prayers falling on deaf ears, that's what is happening. Are our prayers falling on deaf ears? Or we have no faith? Or this prayer is not followed by action? I think it's more is a case of the latter. And don't get me wrong, I believe in prayer. I believe in seeking divine intervention because there are some things that are beyond our control, and on occasion we don't have the intellectual, the physical, the mental wherewithal to deal with certain challenges. But are you saying that we are bereft of the resources, man-made and otherwise, to deal with the scourge of crime which has plagued this country over several decades now? Or do you believe that we have resigned ourselves to just talking about the issue, identifying the problem, coming up with recommendations, and then doing nothing about it? Those recommendations are normally stored somewhere. You have consultants who are hired, paid thousands of dollars, on the premise that we will be getting some answers from them, we'll be getting some solutions, and we'll be implementing those ideas with a view to reaping a satisfactory reward that will be reflected in a reduction of crime on the island. I think it's a case where we have failed as a society to do what is required, for whatever reason or reasons. Maybe it's deliberately so. Maybe it is a case where, as the minister with responsibility for crime prevention said recently, and we've heard it before, we have organized crime taking place in this country, and those who ought to be doing something about this situation, they are turning a blind eye to this issue. They're ignoring it because people are so well connected. Some people are untouchable. And what do you expect? What is on its own a paradise has been allowed to disintegrate into chaos and, to a certain extent, anarchy. You could pray all you want, engage in all your fasting. It will amount to nothing. And this time next year, God willing, we will have to do it all over again. Let's listen to Pastor Benedict Jean-Baptiste, better known as Pastor Ben. You remember all the fervor and the excitement and the energy that surrounded his prayer warfare some 2 years ago? A very militant Pastor Ben. What happened after that? Let's listen to him.
We are here to fight war. Again, we are here to fight war. And we announce to the people, the war we are fighting is not with flesh and blood, but the war we are fighting is against Satan, against demons, against evil spirits, against the workers of iniquity, against crime, against violence, against murders, against the works of darkness, against principalities, against the rulers of the dark world, and war against spiritual wickedness.
That was 2 years ago, Pastor Ben. And amen to that, brother. Amen to that, Pastor. But we are basically wasting our time doing things we know that will not bear fruit on their own. We're being hypocritical about the whole thing. No one wants to seriously tackle the problem head on, the crime problem head on, because some people in this country are well connected, and also the fear of offending some people. They want to take the hard decisions, whether it's UWP or the Senusha Labour Party that's in office. this problem can be brought under control. The scanners at our ports, what happened? What happened to loyal, diligent, reliable K9 642? And I heard the crime prevention minister this morning. And in response to the death of Tyson, he's focusing on the side issues. He focused on the memes. He's focused on the allegations, the unfounded claims, and suggestions that certain individuals are responsible for Tyson's death. That's not the issue at all. You have to, as a government minister, operate above the fray and deal with the issue from a particular perspective, an informed perspective, and let other people speculate if they want to speculate. There's need to clarify certain issues, you clarify. But don't waste your precious time engaging in chicanery, or if it's subterfuge going around the issues and so on. Sensible people do not care about side issues. What we know for a fact is that the French donated a canine to us. What preceded that is the disbandment of our own unit. We claimed that $40,000 a month was too much. By the way, I have reason to agree with the minister on a particular issue. But it is critical that our government ministers account to the people directly on certain matters when it is warranted. And do so some winnowing. There are some things that should not be included in your explanation. And it's so embarrassing that this dog died while in the care of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. You had handlers. It had to be accommodated. Provisions had to be made for a member of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, which happens to be a canine. And the authorities beyond the shores of St. Lucia, they are paying attention. So it's not a case where you can prevaricate, you can mislead people in 2x4 St. Lucia. People who are partisan and their party, once in office, can do no wrong. You're not preaching. You're not addressing the issues, particularly for the benefit of people within your milieu, people in St. Lucia, in Castries, in Dennery, and Slurry, etc., beyond the shores of the island. Martinique, they are monitoring. France, they are monitoring. They are paying attention. And the French might not be speaking up loudly, but I'm sure they're conversing behind closed doors, and they're having discussions with their St. Lucian counterparts. Let us listen to the crime prevention minister speaking on Tyson, the demise of Tyson, and he appeared on the program Meet the Minister earlier today on Rev Up St. Lucia.
We're confronted with a very unfortunate situation in terms of the death of Tyson, and truth be told, I want to publicly thank the French authorities for giving us the donation to Tyson, and Tyson was working very well, and it was also part of the crime prevention strategy, because what we have is our borders and ports are very porous. We're not in a first world country where we have all the technology which allows us to scan the way that we want to. So the addition of the dog really made life a lot easier, and I can tell you that we recorded quite a bit of successes with Tyson. It's unfortunate that we have the situation that we faced with now. However, the matter is still under investigation. It's still under investigation. So I am not going to say too much about Tyson's death. What I'm going to speak about in relation to Tyson is the way in which the matter was treated. And it's sad. It's sad. And then again, it goes back to the culture that we've developed here over time, where I saw several articles looming around the place about the death of Tyson, and I guess there were people already knew autopsy results before those of us who are supposed to be intimately involved. People already had their conspiracy theories. They knew who killed the dog, why the dog was killed. They said the dog was killed, and they knew.
It was also said that the dog was exhumed.
Yes. Well, I heard that as well. Quite a bit of conversation was generated around the death of Tyson, and it's a big blow. I will tell you, it's a big blow for us because we need. But that is not going to stop us from doing what we have to do. And I think Prime Minister has already started looking for alternatives or replacement for Tyson. And it speaks to us having not being solely reliant, because when we have two dogs donated by the French. But I think Tyson was the one that generated a lot more conversation, and he was seen out a little more often than the other dog. But it speaks to us now having to bolster our efforts, improve our efforts in terms of having and I know when the drug unit, we almost complete the drug unit at Latok, and there in that building they actually built a proper canine unit where the dogs are going to be able to get the level of care and protection that they require for them to be able to do the work that we bring them in to do. But again, it's a big blow. It is one that really, and as I said, we're already recording quite a bit of success with Tyson. So, but the conversation surrounding it, the way people turn everything political, partisan, and to try to make it seem like politicians were directly involved in the death of Tyson, I think that's sad. I think we need to openly denounce that type of thing, because there, as I said, there are issues that are bigger than partisan politics. And we should not take every opportunity or everything that floats. We should take it and just try to see how we can use it to gain political points or to score political points. The death of Tyson, anyone who is really concerned about the national security of St. Lucia, the safety of the citizenry of St. Lucia, would not go down that road, because Tyson was able to detect drugs, firearm, cash, was well trained. And I said, when a firearm gets reports here, it has no eyes, bullets have no conscience, and those individuals who facilitate it, I've said to them, when a round is discharged, it does not look to see if Andre is wearing a yellow shirt or a red shirt. It has no conscience. So we have to be very, very, very careful with some of the things that we perpetuate through the public, and we allow and we speak about and we turn into to political footballs, because when it hits home is when you really understand. And I say that and I spoke about my own experience with my accident. So you never really understand until you're faced or confronted with the situation.
So just to be sure, Tyson was not exhumed?
I cannot tell you. I cannot say categorically yes or no, Andre. What I can assure you is, in very, very, very short order, you and others within the media will be given a full disclosure on what transpired with Tyson.
The Minister with responsibility for crime prevention, Mr. Jeremiah Norbert. The long and short of it, we want to know what happened to Tyson. That's all. No need to go in circles. We want to know what happened with Tyson. I don't know if this has really crossed your mind, but we hardly have any cop in St. Lucia who is prominent in the eyes of the public, who is outstanding, and who is seen as a superstar. Someone that you hold in high esteem. And I think the individual who comes closest to this is the head of the gangs and narcotic and firearms unit of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, Inspector Siobhan Matthew. And you'll be hearing from him later in the broadcast. But remember the era when you had Inspector Schaff, Traffic Unit, Gerald Cyril. You had a guy, up to this day, I don't know his real name. We know him as Charles Bronson and many others. But we have this superstar in Tyson, K9 642. Tyson, superstar. We have never met the K9, but we have fallen in love with it. Passionate about the dog and its work and its commitment. So we really and truly want to know what happened to that canine. And I think on this occasion, there isn't any need for us to be pessimistic. I think because the dog was gifted to us by the French will get to know, and somehow I think the citizens of this country will find out. And people are not, I think most people are not casting aspersion, jumping to conclusion. We have our suspicion, but we are waiting. And we are waiting patiently. So I was saying earlier on that the minister said something that I agreed with. You remember when the K9 unit was disbanded. That's what they don't want to hear. Stop saying that. Stop repeating that. Why belabor the point? The K9 unit was disbanded. And one of the reasons cited, $40,000. It's too much. $40,000 a month for 3 canines, 5 handlers, accommodation, transportation, etc. So you felt as a government, disband the K9 unit, and a year or two later, re-establish a unit. That's easy. That's the easiest thing you can do. Disband a unit, and a few years later, set up another unit, K9 unit, and that's it. You realize what the price that we have paid because of our short-sightedness? Is the price we have paid? So I agree with the minister when he made a particular point this morning on the same program, Meet the Minister, regarding the cost of the K9 unit.
He said that they said the $40,000 was too much in terms of maintaining the canines. For me, I will tell you there is no price tag that you place on the life of public of the public of St. Lucians. There's no price tag because the price for not doing it is a lot more expensive. He said that they said the $40,000 was too much in terms of maintaining the canines. For me, I will tell you there is no price tag that you place on the life of public of the public of St. Lucians. There's no price tag because the price for not doing it is a lot more expensive. He said that they said the $40,000 was too much in terms of maintaining the canines. For me, I will tell you there is no price tag that you place on the life of public of the public of St. Lucians. There's no price tag because the price for not doing it is a lot more expensive.
Again, you heard there from the Crime Prevention Minister, Mr. Jeremiah Norbert. Let's hear from you right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And Amanda is on standby. She's currently going through some of the comments in the chat room, and she'll have a few updates for us. Allow me to go through a WhatsApp message. It says there, this afternoon, this message was sent to me, I think last evening, and it reads, this afternoon, my 6-year-old, meaning yesterday, and I went to a clothing store. Shortly after, 2 guys walked in, cranked their guns, and held us at gunpoint. There were only 4 of us in the store. The 2 ladies who worked there, my daughter and myself. The guys told us, don't make a scene or else they will kill us. My daughter put her index finger on each ear, rest her head on my belly. She asked me, what is a scene? I told her they don't want us to scream. My daughter was so brave. She remained calm, and for that, I am proud of her. The WhatsApp message. Very sorry. Your ordeal and also what your 6-year-old daughter went through. Clearly an indication that many of us are coming face to face with the reality on the ground, and that is crime is a major problem in St. Lucia, and we certainly need to tackle it head on. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through while we wait your call. Somebody says Jeremiah should remain quiet. Where was his voice when they disbanded the K9 unit? We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
You know, the situation that we are in today, I heard the minister talking about people taking, making political. But in the situation we are in today, it was brought up not by us, It was brought up by they themselves who put everything the way it is. Because how could you come in, as a new administration and get a K9 unit? And you didn't just get a K9 unit, I think. You would have done what was necessary to find out what that this K9 unit had achieved. The same way they got to find out what it cost us, they would have had, do the necessary, get the necessary information to know what it also cost us. Not cost us, but what it has done. You understand, in terms of all the
in terms of its effectiveness,
right? So they would have done that thing, but yet still, because it was Alan Chasney administration who brought it, just like everything else, they choose to get rid of it. It's the same way they chose to got rid of the new hospital, the new St. Jude's building. It's the same way they choose to stop the airport. The same way they choose to stop DSH. They choose to disband the K9 unit. So what you are going through today, don't try to put the blame on anybody else but yourselves. So head at him. The other thing, I've been doing so much community service in this country, involving charity and everything else. How can I get knighted? I need a knighthood team.
Well, you'll have to call the appropriate authorities.
That's the way it's done?
Yeah, just call the appropriate authorities.
Tim, a man came from nowhere in the bushes of Africa, came down here and get knighthood. What did he do for us that we don't know? What did he do for this administration that we do not know? Isn't there a criteria what qualifies a person for knighthood? What is that criteria? I'm not asking you, Tim, but I'm putting the questions out there. Hopefully somebody can answer me. Because if, as far as I know, because no information has been given to us, this guy have not done anything for St. Lucia. And he got a knighthood. What about me? Okay? What about me? And the others like me and even more than me, who's doing all the work outside there? What about us? When are we going to get our knighthood, Jim? I need somebody to put that, send that message to the Prime Minister for me, please, because I need a knighthood. I need somebody laying down a sword on my shoulder and giving me a cap or a medal or something. I've done enough for this country. Have a good day, Tim.
All right, you too, sir. Thank you so much. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Let's see there what you are saying. In the meantime, let's see if we have a call on the landline, but let me go through a WhatsApp message. It says there, they said $40,000 was too much. Here, I thought it was the Prime Minister and his Deputy Prime Minister who would disband the the unit, because Cabinet, including himself, has advised it was costing too much. We have never been told how much it was costing us for the 2 dogs. We have a call. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim. Wow.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
Okay, I'll make it brief because I'm out of time. Well, for one, your previous caller, he can start by being voted on the most corrupt person's list. That might get him. That might get him there. I know that's one criteria our latest night had, so that's a good place to start. And with regards to Jeremiah, ask Jeremiah for me why. Because why? Because anything you need to know how things are going on is the why. Why was it disbanded? Because look, he just said money for him that could never be an option, and he was in the cabinet when it was disbanded. So wasn't he asking why? So
I don't think he was in the cabinet at that time, you know, caller.
Oh, he was, but he wasn't part of the party.
I think he was part of the administration.
So he was part of the administration. Yeah. Okay, but he was there. He was in the city. You know. So okay. So after the prime minister, now he can ask the prime minister, was the cost then worth the lives of the citizenry? You know. And the why, and what was the benefit? It is the $40,000 that would have benefited the country so much so, you know. And these guys are just shameless. Honestly, I was trying because I am actually unable to continue my conversation right now because I ran out of time.
Okay, caller. All right, take care. Thank you so much for calling. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin.
Hello.
Goodness.
Yes, ma'am. Good
Hello,
afternoon.
Jim.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm doing my happy dance first of all because I got through.
You got the line.
So,
how are you?
Happy dance. I am fantastic.
Okay.
A little perturbed at what's going on in St. Lucia. So let's talk about Tyson. I appreciate people up in arms about Tyson's suspicious death. But again, that takes me back to something Rick Wayne has said over the years. In St. Lucia, we insist on chasing the shadows, not dealing with the monsters, something to that effect. When the current government came in power, there was a fully functioning K9 unit. And Tim, I'm so happy you mentioned that. Fully functioning, self-funded, plus it was profitable. What was very important about that K9 unit? The dogs came with their handlers, 3 dogs, 5 handlers, all foreigners. So they were not local police officers, which I found was a fantastic decision. Because we know in our small society, it's very easy to compromise police officers, officers of the court and all of those things. The government came in power, found that unit fully functioning St. Lucia, fully funded, okay? And they disbanded it. The prime minister and his deputy prime minister made it a point to say it was costing the country $40,000 a month. What they did not tell us was that that unit paid for itself. So that unit paid for the $40,000 that it cost to function. On top of that, it was operating at a profit because all of the cash and guns the cash that was seized at the time, there were always large amounts of cash being seized. That cash was used to buy vehicles, equipment, training for the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Of course, the drugs were done away with, the guns, whatever went into inventory and however it's handled. They got rid of that St. Lucia. We allowed them to get rid of it. We did nothing, okay? And they left us without a K9 unit for 3 years. Then, of course, in typical Labour Party tea-boutique fashion, get rid of something that was successfully working. They went to beg and got one donated from the French. Because again, you see the freeness mentality. That's what Labour Party keeps on practicing in St. Lucia, the freeness mentality. Let us get one freeness. They got Tyson freeness from the French government, okay? And what has happened? Suspicious death. So I would just like to remind people, you see, when we fail to speak up and demand accountability from our politicians, this is what we end up with. We allowed them to get away with the disbanding of that K9 unit, and we did nothing. There was no protest, there was no march, everybody was quiet. Civil society have lost their voices. They've all gone mute since this government came in power. So now, of course, they got away with that. So of course they think they can get away with the killing of Tyson. Well, let's not say the killing, the suspicious death of Tyson. And Tim, I have to commend you for keeping that alive. Please keep that issue alive. And I really wanted to get through to remind people we have to be more vigilant. We have to demand answers from this government, and we have to demand accountability. Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Good afternoon to you, Amanda. Let us find out what is happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, NewsSpinners. Tim and NewsSpinner says their prayers are needed because it will get very chaotic. Another commentator reads, prayer and fasting with poor governance, non-starter. A NewsSpinner says, team, I believe that prayers can change things, but we must change our heart. There are prayers that will not be answered. Another commentator reads, Tim, that just shows that as a Minister of Finance, he gets an F for not being able to find ways to fund the K9 unit as a critical component in crime fighting. Someone says here, too many questions, too little answers. I'm straight up, people are getting fed up. Another commentator says, the matter with reference to Tyson will be under investigation for the next 2 years or even indefinitely, just like the investigation of the briefcase. A NewsSpinner says the minister's pronouncement doesn't match his actions. All we keep hearing is how good of a K9 Tyson was, with little to no information on an investigation into his death. Another commentator reads, so why he focused on rumors, speculations, instead of stating the facts surrounding the suspicious death of Tyson? Jeremiah Whelan, come again. You're insulting the intelligence of the people of this country that's voted for you. Another commentator reads, you'll only care about Tyson. Y'all only care about Tyson, sorry. What about the K9 unit that was very successful? The government disbanded as soon as they won. You'll let them get away with it, and the suspicious death of Tyson is the follow-up. Someone says, Mr. Norbert's speculation is what we are left with when information has not been forthcoming. And that's not new to this government. We do not even know who Tyson's handler was. So you cannot and should not blame us for speculating. Someone says, the next excuse when the time comes, for a report into Tyson, is that the officer responsible for the investigation is on extended vacation. Someone says, team, if it were not for you and your talk show, Tyson's death would have been swept under the rug, forgotten in a couple of days. Please keep up the pressure on the government for answers, because his death has a bigger story to it. Somebody says here, why is it that every government minister likes to be so political? Every chance they get, they have to attack the opposition, and people speaking against them, whether the talks are right or wrong, they attack as if they do not want people to talk against them.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for that update. Still to come, some more from you. All right, we have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tim and Amanda.
Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Thanks for playing that part of the minister, because I watched him live this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing we need to pay attention to, and they keep thinking they can fool us with that, is the minister comes and takes issue, just like the prime minister does with, them fellas, people are talking. And he takes issue with people spreading rumors and spreading news and spreading stuff. And we speculate. But that is in lieu of them informing us. You cannot accuse us in this information age, when you're supposed to be communicating with us, when you tell us you're the most transparent government there is, you come and tell us, you come and take issue with what people say and what you didn't inform us. When something that significant happens, the next morning, you're supposed to come and address us, let us know what happened. You have all these communication people in your office, and every single office paying them money, taxpayers are paying them. You don't tell the country what happens. You wait days, weeks. It's been weeks about Tyson, right? And then nothing, they mute. They have secret deals. They have secret this. The prime minister tells us it's none of our business. One reporter's asking questions. And St. Lucians will speculate, will spread rumors. We want to know what happened. We are humans. That's what humans do. It is your business, the government's business, to come up front and let us know what's happening, how long it's going to take to investigate, what they know, what they don't know, what they can tell us. and give us a timeline and tell us, here's what we know, here's what's going to happen. You don't tell us anything, then you want to come on platform, come on TV show, come on radio, and lambast us for spreading rumors and taking issues and stuff like that. You didn't give us any other choice. So it's your business to stop the speculating before it starts. Thank you, Tim.
Okay, thank you so much for calling. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Tim, when was the last time you heard from any trade union during the reign of this, or trade union leader or official during the reign of this administration? Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, good day, Tim. We are getting tired of Labour Party. If they are man and woman, call the election. Some more of your messages to go through. Somebody says, imagine with no K9 unit for over 2 years, the number of illegal stuff or amount of legal stuff that has entered the country. The French said that the K9 cost US $25,000. The government should already be sourcing another K9. More WhatsApp messages. Somebody says that, Tim, I think the bottom line is Pierre is following what his mentor told him. The K9 unit was the doing of Shas, so he had to dismantle the unit. More of your contributions via WhatsApp. A message there, Tim, I want someone held accountable for Tyson's death. Another one. I am awaiting a statement from the special prosecutor on the death of Officer Tyson. And some more messages coming in. I believe any individual should see that the SLP is trying to protect the victory by attempting to silence everyone who opposes them, or they also try to keep their wrongdoings on the down low. This is the most monitored talk show in the world, and it is called NewsSpin. Still to come, the island's top cop says to the citizenry, be patient. The broadcast continues in just a bit.
Mark your calendars for July 30th and 31st. It's 2 days of sizzling savings you don't want to miss. Cashier Day is coming to Europa Hardware. Get 15% off all your favorite cashier gear. Wet and dry vacuum cleaners, powerful pressure washers, gas or electric, upholstery cleaners, and steam cleaners that make grime run for cover. Swing by Europa Hardware and score 15% discount during the Cashier Day promotion. Remember, it's July 30th and 31st. Write it down, set a reminder, tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't wait, don't miss out. Call us at 452-0763. Europa Hardware in Massad Rosalie. We service what we sell.
Prepare for the hurricane season by ensuring trees and other objects on your property won't get tangled in overhead wires. Be careful. Ensure ladders and tools don't come within 10 feet of power lines. If a tree is near electrical lines, don't try to trim it yourself. Contact Lucelect at 452-2165 or 454-6617. Be smart, stay safe.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
Whoa. It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong, no matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in, our hands up in the sky, celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
Carnival just got crunchier with KFC. It's time to fet, win, and feast with the Carnival Crunch Box. For just $30, get a Big Crunch or Zinger sandwich, 3 crunchy strips, a dipping sauce, regular fries, a 16-ounce soda, and a biscuit. But wait, that's not all. Every Carnival Crunch Box gives you a chance to win big. Promotion runs June 1st to July 20th. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
You want. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good
St.
spirit.
Lucia, are you ready for the ultimate all-inclusive?
Chalet Blanc, the all-white event. Tier 1 now available at Frontline Ticketing, Eventbrite, Digicel Baywalk Mall, 4 Circles Ticketing, or WhatsApp at 240-344-8629. A musical journey curated by the best local and international DJs. St. Lucia Carnival Saturday, July 19th, 1 p.m. to 8 p.m.
At Sanders Golf and Country Club, Kappa State.
Look something to talk about.
Unlimited drinks, brunch buffet, top-class entertainment.
Stay tuned. This event is powered by One Golden Fox and Natalie Events.
At La Clinique de Corps, your health comes first with St. Lucia's only advanced 1.5 Tesla MRI, delivering safe, radiation-free imaging aligned with World Health Organization and international standards. Not sure if you need an MRI, CT, or ultrasound? Our expert in-house doctors guide you so you get the right scan the first time. One accurate scan can change everything. Your peace of mind starts here. Get $50 off all consultations with our doctors now through July 31st. We're UHC approved and accept all major insurances. Visit us in Castries or Cocoville, Rodney Bay. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps. Advanced care, local access, your health reimagined.
It's time to paint and save at MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt. Get 20% off on all Berger Everflow and Magic Coat paint during our big Carnival season paint sale. Whether you're refreshing one room or painting the whole house, now's the perfect time to add that pop of color. But hurry, the Brush and Save sale is only here for a limited time.
As Commissioner of Police, I will not stand by and allow these persons in conflict with the law cause a worse situation in St. Lucia. So Saturday, I met with my high command and we have put a mission in place to confront some of these perpetrators, because it's time that we have something affirmative to manage them. I want to say to the citizenry of St. Lucia, be a little patient with me and my high command.
The island's top cop, Mr. Vernegard, be a little patient with me and my high command, he says. We continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages. WhatsApp message reads, the crime prevention minister said that Tyson was a great part of their crime prevention strategy. How comes he failed to protect a major part of his crime prevention strategy? What the minister should be doing is to apologize to the public for his failure or for the failure of his ministry, and more directly, his failure. We do not hear ministers owning up and apologizing. However, they are quick to condemn others, and in this case, Joe Public for speculating in the absence of any info coming out of his ministry. The person continues, if Prime Minister Pierre or the Commissioner died whilst in office, wouldn't the government immediately inform the public? Why was the public not immediately informed about the death of Tyson? The closest fact, or the closet fact, is that the clear fact is that they were scared or unsure how to face the backlash, or they wanted to cover it up. A WhatsApp message. Those are not my words. WhatsApp message. Another one reads, and it says that, one thing I just cannot understand about our government is they will spend millions of dollars on events like jazz, Carnival, and other similar events. The country never make half of that money spent in return, but yet, still they do it year after year. They keep giving foreign investors huge tax breaks. that they really don't have to, while they keep taxing their own people out of their buttholes. That governing system is designed to keep our people in a struggling state always. Make me understand, in a small island with such a small population, why do we have so much poverty? Yet still, we waste millions of dollars. It's so sad when people are still walking around asking for assistance for medical issues, food, school stuff and such. I am just so pissed. Another WhatsApp message. Good afternoon, Tim. How do you know if money is counterfeit? You study the real money. In other words, if you want to know if someone is lying, you find out the truth. So let the ministers we pay to speak the truth, and we, the population, will not speculate. Thank you. Some more of your messages, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Somebody says the politicians of the SLP, led by the Prime Minister, seem so intent on proving a point to Alan Shastney that they are willing to let the entire country suffer just to satisfy their vendetta. In their quest to punish one man, St. Lucians have become nothing more than collateral damage, paying the price for a political grudge that overshadows the real needs of the people. The actions show a clear disregard for the well-being of the nation. Instead of putting St. Lucia first, they are putting their own agenda above everything else, blinded by the hatred and indifferent to the damage they are causing to the country and its citizens. I hope St. Lucians wake up to realize this. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Let's see there. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
Timothy.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
I think I'm not so bad. I'm better now because I thought you were there. I did you something and that you were. I didn't know what it was. I've been trying to get you for almost 3 weeks now.
Well, so many people are trying to get the show at the same time. My apologies to you, ma'am. Not deliberate.
Well, you know what? You are the most monitored.
Absolutely.
You did say that. You did say that. Yeah. Timothy, I just wanted to make mention of a few things that has been bugging me. And there's so many things that are happening now. I mean, our Prime Minister lying blatantly in the House and supported by the Speaker of the House, Tyson dying and all of that. But the little things that are happening, well, it's not little things. They're big things, but we're losing sight of it. Timothy, did you know that 2 Sundays ago, a young student, just having written CXT this year, was assaulted at an event, right? Mm-hmm. At an event, hospitalized, bleeding the brain. Did you hear anything about that in the media?
No, ma'am. This occurred where? This occurred where?
This happened in Labrie.
In Labrie, okay.
This happened in Labrie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And we are not hearing anything about it in the news. Nothing at all. And a lot of the times these things happen in Labrie and we don't hear anything in the news. And I know for a fact that this particular incident I'm talking to you about was reported. So why is it that when we're getting reports from the police that we are selecting what we choose about? We talk about what's happening in Wilson's Yard, what's happening in Beaufort, what's happening, in those other, I don't want to say infamous places, but we're not hearing about the things that are happening to the everyday. And that's a student. That is one of, they say the children are our future. This is our future we're talking about. Now, Timothy, Tristan Francis, do you remember, does that name ring a bell to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so Tristan Francis, for those of us who do not remember, is the young man who was accused and arrested, and he spent time in prison for the slaughter of Alicia Hunt. All right? And we just heard this week, and I haven't heard anybody pick it up, that he was released, right? he was released in yet another legal failure. This is another family, Timothy, that is still mourning. Another family that is plunged rather back into mourning because of lack of closure. I want solutions to remember Alicia Hunt was not a statistic. She was somebody's daughter. She was somebody's friend. She had her whole life stolen from her. And now, the story does not end, because rather than getting closure, rather than getting justice, it's another saga. You know, though, sometimes you read these stories and then it just keeps going on and on and on, no closure. Or you're watching those movies and they're called franchises, and there's another part like Fast and Furious. My God, you would have thought that the franchise would have ended by now, but every few years there's another installment and it never ends. This is how I feel about Alicia Hunt. Her saga, her story has just begun all over again, because guess what? Her family is not getting closure. And not a word from our Prime Minister, not a word from the Crime Prevention Minister, not a word from any of those ministers whose responsibility it is to curb crime. And I don't say annihilate crime, because you cannot. The only people who can stop crime are the criminals, right? But we have people in Parliament who have been accused, which this current government have told us. They were the ones who told us how detrimental certain people were to our society and to our politics. But they have embraced them. I guess they have sprinkled unholy water on them, and they've made them whiter than the driven snow. I think that's a shame. But Timothy, I just want us to remember a few names. Names like Kezia Wilson, the nurse that was fatally shot in November of 2022. And as of this year, I don't think anybody has been fingered in her murder. So her killer or killers still remain unidentified as far as I know and as I can recall. We recall Alana Bernard, only 28 years old, a young mother of 3 who was shot this year in Corinth. Jolie William, age 20, who was fatally stabbed at a guest house trying to get away from her eventual killer. You know, we remember Cecilia Louis, who was shot dead in Moshi in 2020, July 2020. You know, not quite senior citizen, but she would have never made it because she died at 57. Anella Wilson, age 22, shot dead at Pigeon Point in 2020. Her companion wounded. All right? We want to remember names like Giselle Georges, Cherise Benoit, Valerie Lord, Valinda Joseph, Trisha Dennis, Crystal St. Omer, Mary Ratcliffe, Simone Leandra Garni, and the list goes on and on and on. The name I was trying to remember, Janelle D, who was killed just like a dog in a gutter. That's where they found her bodies. And the list goes on and on and on and on. And we seem to forget about these people. We forget about them. We just go about just, you know, as if their lives didn't matter. But their lives did matter. Their lives did matter. And I would like to take this opportunity. You know, the Archbishop of the Catholic Church has exhorted us to undertake a day of fasting and prayer this year, today. And while I believe in my prayer and my fasting, I believe that it has to be concluded with action. We cannot just say, "Oh, God will go lie down, He's not sleeping." But He's given us power and dominion over ourselves to do the right things, you know. And while we fast and pray, I want us to think about how we as citizens can help our situation. And I think later this evening, there will be a prayer vigil for those slaughtered in Wilson's Yard recently, especially Troya St. Martin and her unborn child. These ones are the hardest ones, Timothy, the ones where the unborn children are murdered before having even taken breath. So I want all of us Forget about yellow, forget about red, forget about blue, forget about white, forget about black. Just come out in a show of solidarity with those families who have lost loved ones, in particular, Troya St. Martin and her unborn child. Thank you so much, Timothy.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much. Let's listen now to the leader of the parliamentary opposition, Mr. Alan Chasney. He called NewsSpin earlier this week, and that is to promote the same activity that the previous caller referenced. That's with regard to the observance of a National Day of Prayer and Fasting.
What I want to do is to say to us as a society that there is a role to play, and that is to help try to reduce the trauma and the stigma that's associated with crime, and in many cases the stigma that's associated in crime zones. So if we take Wilton's Yard and New Village as an example right now, how many St. Lucians have really been there? And if we invited people to go there, how many St. Lucians would go? But there are brothers and sisters. You know, there is a beginning, there is a first step to at least go and show some level of respect and some level of support for the victims and all the persons in those communities that are suffering from trauma, and to let them know that we're with them. And I think that it will send a direct message to the government that we as society value life. And we also value the life of those persons who are living, because we have to go on. We have to try to find some level of solution. And so I want to say that I'm taking up this day of prayer that the Archbishop has called for. And I've asked my party to put its colors down on Friday. Put your colors down. And for us to go collectively, forget about political party, for us to go collectively as citizens of this country who value life, who treasure each other as brothers and sisters. And as I said, I gave the example in the House. I call Richard my brother. I may not agree with things that Richard is doing, but I'm not going to hate Richard. I'm not going to hate anybody in Parliament. And similarly, that we need to treat each other as brothers and sisters and have that respect and show everyone in St. Lucia, including the persons in charge, that we value life. We value peace, but we must find a way to exemplify that and to say that. And that's why I'm asking that on Friday afternoon, we're going to have a vigil both in New Village as well as in Wilton's Yard. There will be details coming out. This will not be a political movement. It will not be. I'm asking no one to wear any political colors. I'm asking us to come out as brothers and sisters and to start the healing and to show some love. And it's not about just going down there and praying, but it's hugging. It's also bringing gifts. And for us to say to the people in these areas who have been traumatized over many years, it didn't start with this administration, over many years, that we start a process of healing in our country, but at the same time, is to show that we respect both the persons who have died and the impact it's created, and very importantly, the living, and to give some people some hope that they're not forgotten.
The leader of the parliamentary opposition promoting an activity that's scheduled for later this afternoon, coinciding with the observance of a National Day of Prayer and Fasting. Imagine Richard Frederick and Alan Chasney are brothers. Can you imagine that? Let's continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages. And of course, Amanda, let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
Tim, a few comments from earlier in the chat room, and NewsSpin says here, why didn't Jeremiah come out during that time and said he was against the disbanding of the K9 units? Another commentary reads, talking about matters affecting the country and the citizens is not being political, and it's not for making political mileage. Talking about crime, CIP, GPH, VAT, etc. It is not for political mileage, it is what's affecting us. The same way it was affecting the Prime Minister when he was the leader of the opposition and he came out and said that the criminal activities taking place was because the criminals were showing their frustration with the then UWP government. So now if the people are showing their frustration with this government, why not accept it? A NewsSpinner says here, we want a total amount of money saved from disbanding the K9 unit, and what was the money used for? If it was too expensive, where is the money? Another commentator reads, Team Boko Haram is a terrifying terrorist group in Nigeria. We should never encourage St. Lucian's females to go over there to study. Anyone can go online and do a read-up on Boko Haram. Another commentator reads, this is a statement that should be coming from the Prime Minister and not the leader of the opposition. But then again, in time of crisis, leadership matters, and the present Prime Minister does not demonstrate any serious level of leadership. Let's see if there are any more comments. That's it from me, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Let me take the opportunity to go through a press release from Lucelec. It says that Lucelec wishes to advise the motoring public and residents of Balata of planned maintenance works at Balata, the area before the Balata gas station, and that is on a Saturday, tomorrow, July the 12th, 2025, from 7 o'clock in the morning to 10 in the morning. This is to allow Lucelec to undertake tree trimming operations in the area. The release continues. The vegetation clearing exercise will affect Timon, Almondale, Bureau Development in Balata, Lower Balata near the old post office and the Balata gas station. The road will be blocked from the Almondale entrance near the zoo area and at the Balata junction near the old post office to traffic in both directions. The works will result in intermittent traffic disruptions. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force Department or the Royal St. Lucia Police Force Traffic Department officers will be on site to assist with rerouting vehicles. Road users are encouraged to be mindful of the various safety measures such as reflective tape, cones, barriers, and warning signs that will be put in place to designate the work area. Lucelec regrets any inconvenience to residents of the affected communities and the motoring public and would like to thank the public for their understanding and patience. A press release coming from the St. Lucia Electricity Services Limited. Let's see if we have a call in the landline. In the meantime, let's go through a WhatsApp message. Tim, are you aware that a 14-year-old was arrested on Saturday evening with a Glock 40 pistol with a selector switch installed on it? That's news to me. To be confirmed. So the person says again, Tim, are you aware that a 14-year-old was arrested on Saturday evening with a Glock 40 pistol and with a selector switch installed on it? We have a call. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Tim, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
Tim, I listened to the Minister of Crime Prevention, and it appears that when the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister is speaking, that the Minister was not present. It was the Deputy Prime Minister who said that the K9 was too expensive, and the Prime Minister endorsed it. Okay, and they sent back the dogs. Now, I want to agree with the Minister of Crime Prevention by saying that there's no price for human life. But if there is no price for human life, then where was the Minister of Crime Prevention when they were in the House of Parliament and the killing or the murdering or the slaughtering of the dog was being ridiculed? I don't want nobody to tell me it was not making fun out of, because whether a dog being killed, slaughter, murder, poison, they murder the dog. Somebody murdered a dog. So his colleague was making fun in the House of Parliament, and all of them was rejoicing and laughing. And right now you coming on meet the minister, and you making believe that you sympathizing or you feeling ill about somebody or the dog being killed, or somebody murdered a dog. I mean, I don't see that hypocrite thing that the minister was doing there. I just don't see any logic out of it. And I believe this government is the worst government ever, because these guys have only one issue thing, and not governing the country, not taking care of the people of the country, not seeing about the well-being of the people of the country. It's just Alan Chasney hatred, and they don't care whatever. But once they can target Alan Chasney, that is all that matters to them. The people can die, people can be murdered, people can, the country can be destroyed, and they don't care about human beings in this country. But the only prime care is Alan Chasney. We have to, anytime we get a chance, we have to target Alan Chasney. And the moment we target Alan Chasney, our supporters are happy, we are happy, and that is him. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. WhatsApp message. It's shameful on the part of some St. Lucians who brought Black Lives Matter's march to St. Lucia, and the SLP used this to capitalize on marching alongside Allison. Catherine Seeley was on every radio show, including NewsSpin, to highlight on the ills and demanding answers and justice for some of the murdered female victims. So today we stand with the growing out-of-control murder rate, even females getting murdered with unborn child, and not a condemnation from any female of higher positions on this land. Shameless, opportunistic bunch of individuals who are living off taxpayers' money. But every country gets a government they deserve. See if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. Please bear with me while we're trying to go through a couple of them. All right, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Bless up. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Oh. Yes, sir. Question. At the rate Lucia going there, you believe if after we fast and pray, God tell Lucians, you know what? I give you everything you need. You have all the resources. You have brains that work in mouth that could talk, ears that could hear, eyes that could see. Now it's time to take action. You believe Lucians will take action and do what's necessary after everything we've been through and how docile we've remained over the years. Do you think Lucians will take action after that fast and prayer?
I doubt, caller.
You doubt that? Imagine that. That's sad, eh? So what I want to say at the end of the day is where tout sakafet la say fought no. Because it's the same like if you have a youth at your home. If you're a parent, you have a youth. More the youth do things that are not good. You just there quarreling and talking and you never give the youth a tap. You never take no serious action. Put the youth close out and make the youth know, yeah, thing hot. If you don't check yourself there, you'll not come back home. You will just keep on doing what the youth doing, misbehaving, doing all kind of madness. And at the end of the day, no, all mommy will do is just talk and beat her mouth and make noise. And at the end of the day, we good. So where tout ça nous ka hen la, tout ça ka la bon. Because a lack of respect, a lack of action. If I have a people, I know they docile, I know all they do is they shout, make noise, talk. And more I do think I get in a way with it. Why would I change? I go change. I had the head, I had the top, but nobody ain't making nothing happen. Nobody talking, they saying nothing really. Well, they talking, but after they talk is no action. Why would I change? Why would I feel the need to answer your questions? Why would I feel the need to heed anything you're asking for or you're rooting for? Why? You're operating on my time for it. While there I go live, you're listening to David without no action. Tout ça at end point. Tout ça my fair bon. Just hold it down nicely, yeah? Blessed.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Still to come, we'll be hearing from Inspector Siobhan Matthew, and he's from the gangs, narcotics and firearms unit of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. He has some advice for you regarding your behavior, your deportment during the Carnival festivities over the next few days.
Mark your calendars for July 30th and 31st. It's 2 days of sizzling savings you don't want to miss. Cashier Day is coming to Europa Hardware. Get 15% off all your favorite cashier gear. Wet and dry vacuum cleaners, powerful pressure washers, gas or electric, upholstery cleaners, and steam cleaners that make grime run for cover. Swing by Europa Hardware and score 15% discount during the Cashier Day promotion. Remember, it's July 30th and 31st. Write it down, set a reminder, tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't wait, don't miss out. Call us at 452-0763. Europa Hardware in Massa Grocery Lane. We service what we sell.
Prepare for the hurricane season by ensuring trees and other objects on your property won't get tangled in overhead wires. Be careful. Ensure ladders and tools don't come within 10 feet of power lines. If a tree is near electrical lines, don't try to trim it yourself. Contact Lucelec at 452-2165 or 454-6617. Be smart, stay safe.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping. Together going strong, no matter what we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in, our hands up in the sky, celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
Carnival just got crunchier with KFC. It's time to fat, win, and feast with the Carnival Crunch Box. For just $30, get a big crunch or zinger sandwich, 3 crunchy strips, a dipping sauce, regular fries, a 16-ounce soda, and a biscuit. But wait, that's not all. Every Carnival Crunch Box gives you a chance to win big. Promotion runs June 1st to July 20th. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Crunch you want. I in a good spirit. I drink in a good
St.
spirit.
Lucia, are you ready for the ultimate all-inclusive?
Chalet Blanc, the all-white event. Tier 1 now available at Frontline Ticketing, Eventbrite, Digicel Baywalk Mall, 4 Circles Ticketing, or WhatsApp at 240-344-8629. A musical journey curated by the best local and international DJs. St. Lucia Carnival Saturday, July 19th, 1 p.m. to 8 p.m.
At Sanders Comfort Country Club, Kappa State.
Look something to talk about.
Unlimited drinks, brunch buffet, top-class entertainment.
Stay tuned. This event is powered by One Golden Fox and Natalie Events.
At La Clinique de Corps, your health comes first with St. Lucia's only advanced 1.5 Tesla MRI, delivering safe, radiation-free imaging aligned with World Health Organization and international standards. Not sure if you need an MRI, CT, or ultrasound? Our expert in-house doctors guide you so you get the right scan the first time. One accurate scan can change everything. Your peace of mind starts here. Get $50 off all consultations with our doctors now through July 31st. We're UHC approved and accept all major insurances. Visit us in Castries or Cocoville, Rodney Bay. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps. Advanced care, local access, your health reimagined.
It's time to paint and save at MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt. Get 20% off on all Berger Everflow and Magic Coat paint during our big Carnival season paint sale. Whether you're refreshing one room or painting the whole house, now's the perfect time to add that pop of color. But hurry, the Brush and Save sale is only here for a limited time.
Hello. As we approach one of our island's most vibrant and anticipated events, St. Lucia Carnival 2025, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force extends warm greetings to all residents, visitors, and revelers. We understand that the recent acts of violence, especially in and around Castries, have caused unease in our communities. Families are worried, and many are questioning whether they can truly enjoy this season with a peace of mind. Let us reassure you, we hear you, we see you, and we are responding. Increased police presence, targeted patrols, and intelligence-driven operations are already underway to curb and gang activities. We are working day and night to ensure safety, and we want you to enjoy Carnival with confidence. But safety is a shared responsibility as you prepare to jump, dance, and celebrate. Here are some key safety tips we encourage you to follow. Stay alert, stay together, move in groups, and avoid isolated areas, especially after on your friends. Look out for each other. It can make all the difference. Secure your belongings. Carry only essentials. Avoid flashy jewelry, large amounts of cash, or expensive gadgets. Keep your phone and ID in a secure pouch or close to your body. Follow police instructions, whether you're on the road, at a concert, or near a checkpoint. Cooperate with the officers. We are here to protect you, not to disrupt your enjoyment. Your cooperation keeps things flowing safely. Watch your drink. Never leave your drink unattended or accept drinks from strangers. And if you're drinking alcohol, pace yourself. Stay hydrated and always know your limit. Report suspicious behavior. If something doesn't feel right, say something. You can report any suspicious activity to the nearest officer or anonymously through our 555 hotline. This Carnival, let us celebrate what makes us Lucian, our culture, our spirit, and our unity. Don't let fear steal your joy, but let wisdom guide your choices. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force is here in full strength and full heart to ensure that you come for Carnival and return home safely. Enjoy responsibly, be vigilant, stay safe. Happy Carnival, St. Lucia. We got you.
Just heard there from Inspector Siobhan Matthew of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, and he heads the gangs and also the narcotics and firearms unit of the RSLPF. Talking about Carnival, I stumbled upon this memo from the PS in the Department of the Public Service. Time off for public sector workers. And this time it's not compliments of the Ministry of the Public Service, but it is compliments of the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. And this July 10th, 2025 memo, the subject is Time Off for Carnival 2025. It reads, in keeping with national efforts toward enhancing and promoting St. Lucia's Carnival as an important cultural and economic event, the Prime Minister has granted time off to all public officers on Monday, July the 21st, 2025, as well as a half day, the afternoon on Tuesday, July the 22nd of 2025. In light of the foregoing, all permanent secretaries and heads of department are asked to inform their staff accordingly. Amanda, what is happening in the chat room? Let's get a final update from you.
A few comments from Ilya in the chat room. Team NewsSpin says here, good day, NewsSpin family. It's a sad affair in St. Lucia. We need to support each other in their distress. It's really hard for the mourning family, and also sympathy greetings, our family, for the passing of my two sisters. That's from Clara Sammy. Another comment here reads, Mr. Opposition Leader, if you continue in that trend and the government decided to hold hands on this, I think St. Lucia will heal. We may agree to disagree on policies, but as a people, we will continue to stand for country and people without the hatred. United we stand, divided we fall or fail. And NewsSpin says here, I do not understand if you have a bank account in any bank in St. Lucia, including the credit union. If you do not deposit money into the account every month, they deactivate your account. So which means you do not get interest while they keep using it. Another comment here reads, Lucians pray and fast, then the action is to rise up in peace. Go to the government house and demand the Governor General dissolve that house of hatred opposite Valmore we call Parliament. Lucians show the world that we stand for righting the wrong. That's it for me, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. And we have a call via WhatsApp. Sir Rick is on the air. Good afternoon to you, Sir Rick. You have 5 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
Tim, I just want to clarify something.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine sought to rake me over the coals over my call to you yesterday. And I just want to go over that again. Yesterday I called you and asked if you had any information, official information, as to the cause of death of the man, what's his name, who was on the castries, the tourist.
The tourist, Travis Wyant.
The tourist.
Travis Wyant.
Okay. Do you recall that was how I started, by asking you if you had any information as to the cause of death?
I remember, yes.
Yeah. Well, my friend said it was highly irresponsible of me to do that, and I hadn't checked and whatever. I want to make it very clear, Tim, that when I call your show, I call as a citizen, a regular citizen. There's a big difference between me calling and asking questions in your show and when I'm writing an article, because with the writing of an article, I have particular responsibilities to make certain everything I put down there is validated.
Yes.
When I call your show, I more often than not ask you questions.
And there's nothing wrong in that, because, Rick, what I ventured to say to you explained that we have not received any confirmation regarding the cause of death. And I also said to you that a postmortem was scheduled for, I think it was on the same day that the body was found, but it had not been carried out. So, having said all that, it means that we don't know the cause of death, and we can't make any pronouncement regarding the cause of death.
My friend was attributing to me political hanky-panky moves, and you.
Well,
I was particularly interested in this death because it's all over the foreign media, speculation, even picking up speculation from St. Lucians on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see those?
Yes, I've seen it.
Okay. Regular news houses overseas have been picking up on unsubstantiated statements on Facebook. So that was my particular... And
so far, have you heard from the authorities on this?
May I come to that? Take my time, please, Tim? I know, time.
Mm-hmm.
Then my friend pointed me to certain reports where a police officer, he looked more like a constable or a corporal, I don't know what rank he was talking to a reporter and saying they had seen a body, somebody had seen a body floating, et cetera, et cetera. And that even to the point, my friend said, that in one of the reports, there was no, the police officer said no foul play was suspected. But Tim, that has nothing to do with my question. Because what the police officer may or may not suspect has to be confirmed by the proper authorities and a cause of death given. For example, the guy may have had a heart attack while swimming. But you find that out after you've done a proper autopsy.
Yes.
In the meantime, you can only have your suspicions and your speculations and nothing more. But my friend insisted that we were up to some hanky-panky, etc. That we want. I suppose.
Well, this guy is your friend, but it's not mine, eh? If that's the individual who comes to mind, he is your friend, but not mine.
Well, I'm not going to him because he's my friend. He's more than my friend.
Nah, not my friend.
He's more than my friend. But he was quite angry. He thought it was irresponsible of me. I just want to underscore. When I ask you a question, Tim, usually I'm seeking a particular answer.
Yeah, but since when you have to explain yourself to your friends?
No, this is for the benefit of your listenership, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Because if one guy can think like that, others can. And I think I owe it to them to explain what I was doing yesterday. While we are playing games on it. And as I said to my friend, It's not as if we have a police force.
Just stick a pin there. Stick a pin. Somebody just sent me some info. He's supposed to be a reliable individual. He says that the police just released a statement on that case of the American. It was drowning, and he had no signs of trauma. So continue.
Well, that is the report. That is the report my friend was talking about. I thought what you have there is an old report.
No. I'm just saying somebody just said that the police just released a statement on that matter involving the American. And
so that's a new... I was talking to my friend about it.
That's the latest right now. It was drowning, and he had no signs of trauma. Just released. A statement just released on this.
It was drowning. So now we know.
Yes.
But we didn't know until now. But I want you to listen to this. My friend is saying that statement you just read to me has been out a couple of days.
No.
But I never saw that.
No, it's not been out.
Well, there you go again. But what I want to make clear to your listenership is when I ask my questions, I'm not, and even if I were to ask questions speculating on government activity, there's absolutely nothing wrong with my doing that or being irresponsible. The government is irresponsible to allow wild speculations to go around and not rectify them when in fact taxpayers pay them to rectify wild speculations and keep people informed. But I'm thinking if my friend can put that kind of pressure on me, then I wonder what kind of pressure they put on other people who don't have answers. You know, it makes you afraid to talk, it makes you afraid to call. And Tim, it's a very important thing what I'm saying there, you know, because there are people in law who will not say anything for fear what they say might come back to haunt them or whatever. And in law, they refer to that as the chilling effect. So you don't have to have all the facts to talk about a matter of public interest. Why do I have to go out and call every news person in St. Lucia to find out how that man died, the tourist, how he died? Why is that my responsibility? Why can't I call a show like yours and ask you, had you heard? And why would it not be a situation where the people who are listening to the show, as just happened now, because what I don't know and what you don't know, people in the chat room may know.
And more than that, Rick, we never jumped the gun. We never said that the guy was murdered or he died because out of drowning. Nothing of that nature. We never made any pronouncement, drew any conclusion.
I even gave the reason why, Tim. I said because I had seen a number of overseas reports quoting things happening here, and even from Facebook. I made the point. And I mentioned Nugent as well. What happens here to tourists affects us a lot more than what happens to our own people here, Jim.
Yes.
So I just wanted to make that clear. And to my friend and to those who may be thinking like him, that I called you about this guy's death. He didn't say that, but I'm going to get there. To embarrass the government. And that's another thing. I mean, how dare any government consider that if a person who is calling about something of public interest is calling to embarrass them? And what if, and it shouldn't be embarrassment, if the government member or government official is wrong, and I don't like to use the word wrong, has done something illegal or irregular, he should pay for it, Tim. Not be embarrassed. He should be made to pay for it.
More than that, Rick, you know, our authorities don't understand the value of PR. They believe that if they come forward and provide members of the public with information regarding an incident which might have occurred a few hours or a few days ago and so on, that automatically members of the public will be suspicious. People become suspicious when you do not provide the information to them in a timely manner. So they are free to conclude that you have something to hide.
But let me say this finally, Tim. It is not as if we are referring to a police force that 80% of the country has faith in. I think it was Laura who just called a number of names to you there.
Yes.
There's so many deaths unresolved. Nothing. We can't trust our DPP. We can't trust the ministers of government. We can't trust the police to tell us, update us on things, on life and death. So my friend, I think, is being particularly specious when he suggests it's irresponsible of me to call you and leave the impression of embarrassment for the government.
But your friend can only call you and tell you those things. Your friend can't call me.
My friend is all right.
Your friend can only call you. Not me.
My friend is all right. My friend thinks you cut him off.
He can't call me, man. He cannot call me and tell me that nonsense. I suspect you retired, you have a lot of time on your hands, you're patient, you're getting a little older, so you did that, but I have no time for your friend.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you, Rick. All right, so we have the press release coming from the police regarding the death of a 37-year-old American tourist. And it reads, results of postmortem examination of body of Travis Andrew Wyant. On Tuesday, July the 8th, 2025, at about 11 a.m., the body of a male believed to be that of Travis Andrew Wyant, a 37-year-old American national, was discovered along the shoreline at Rodney Bay. Wyant had been reported missing from the previous day. A post-mortem examination on the body was initially scheduled for 3 p.m. on Tuesday, July the 8th, 2025. However, had to be rescheduled due to circumstances arising at the pathology department of the OKEU hospital. On Thursday, July the 10th of 2025 at 4 p.m., the post-mortem examination on the body commenced at the OKEU hospital. At the end of the procedure, the pathologist concluded that the cause of death was drowning. The pathologist also presented that there were no indicators of trauma to Wyant's body, which could have contributed to his death. As part of the ongoing investigation into the death of Travis Andrew Wyant, several eyewitnesses have been interviewed as investigators continue to piece together the sequence of events leading up to this death. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force invites anyone with information that can assist with the investigation to contact the Groseley Police Station at 456-4061, the crime hotline at 555, that's 555, and through the crime hotline app. The Commissioner, Executive and Rank and File of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force extends the deepest condolences to the family of Travis Andrew Wyant. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force remains available to provide support. Our NewsSpin question of the day, the NewsSpin question of the day: how is your day of prayer and fasting? A simple one. How is your day of prayer and fasting? The NewsSpin question of the day. And the NewsSpin news of the day reads: 4 African billionaires richer than 750 million people living on the continent, according to Oxfam. Once again, the NewsSpin news of the day reads: 4 African billionaires richer than 750 million people living on the continent, according to Oxfam. That's a broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. Enjoy your day of fasting and prayer. Here's hoping we'll not be recording any over the weekend, any serious crimes, and we'll be back on Monday afternoon at 12:30 with some good news. So we'll be back on Monday. Goodbye.